Hey, what is up guys, it is Slick or Slickmuff here, back again with another video, and in this one I wanted to talk about how Sefton, Hill, and also Geoff Eleanor of WB Games Montreal have both come out and confirmed that neither studio, Rocksteady nor WB Games Montreal, will be at E3 this year. So, no E3 announcement once again this year, and that's really unfortunate because the last DC game announcement we did get was Batman Arkham VR, which I think was in 2016 or 2017, I can't quite remember. But that was the last DC game announcement that we've had. We have had Injustice 2, of course, but not from the main studios that work exclusively on DC games, which are WB Games Montreal and then Rocksteady Studios. So, it's quite unfortunate. Of course, you want them to take the time that they need to make the best game possible. However, I think that we should applaud, especially Rocksteady's transparency. Like the way Sefton Hill came out a week before E3, he came out and said that the game is not going to be at E3, just so you know. And if you don't have Twitter, I highly recommend that you follow me on there, and then also follow Sefton Hill and other staff members from WB Games Montreal to help you stay informed on what's going on with the games. And that's basically how we knew that these games were not going to be at E3. So, you know, really, I think looking at a chance of a DC game coming out this year are basically none. Now, there is a chance that the game could be revealed at the VGAs, much like Arkham City was back in 2010, I think, 2010. So, yeah, interesting that there is that possibility for VGAs. There also is a possibility that they'll just launch the trailer on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Is that, like, looking at things objectively, E3 is kind of irrelevant nowadays, and I'm not saying this is like a contrarian, but it's just that every reveal gets leaked ahead of time. Like, there's no such thing as a surprise at E3. I think that E3 is really good if you want to drop a gameplay trailer that you haven't seen before, but in terms of announcing a game, it's just not particularly relevant anymore because the way that everything gets leaked, first of all. But also, just looking at, like, Sony's not even there this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sony is the biggest powerhouse in gaming right now, and they're not even there. So it's kind of like, well, like, what's even the point of this if like, the big studio's not even there? Now, of course, E3's turned out to be pretty solid so far. We've had Jedi Fallen Order, which looks really, really good. And then tomorrow we're getting Avengers Project stuff. So there's plenty to be excited for. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that in terms of a reveal for a game at E3 or one of these, you know, VGAs or whatever, like these big studios, it's kind of going out. So I think the best thing to do for these studios, Rocksteady or WB Games Montreal, and I would encourage them to do so, is to just drop a CGI trailer on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, and get the hype buzzing that way. And, like, the thing is that when they do that, they're going to dominate the media narrative. I think that there's a little bit too much waiting for these staple events. But here's the thing, is that if you wait for the VGAs or at E3, there's 10 other games getting revealed at the VGAs. There's 15 other games, 20, 30, 40 games getting revealed at E3. And that attention is being divided. Of course, I would argue that a Batman game announcement or a whatever DC game announcement is going to be in the top 3 pressers of the news. Like, if Rocksteady comes out and they're making a new DC video game, that's going to steal the show, and it's going to be top 3. But you're also competing with The Last of Us. You're also competing with these other, you know, Halo and, like, these other big franchises that people care very deeply about. Whereas if you just drop this on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, you dominate the media narrative for that week because there's nothing else, like in some random week in July or August, right? So I think that there's nothing wrong with doing that. In fact, I would encourage it. I think that, like, trying to save this surprise reveal for the the Game Awards would be kind of a disaster. It's just going to get leaked. It's just going to get leaked. There's literally a 0% chance that if you try to have a surprise these days, now I'm not saying back in 2010 they might have gotten away with it, but now, no way. I mean, these scooper guys, they'll be all over it. I mean, they'll leak it 3 days in advance. There's no chance it'll be a surprise. So the only way you can guarantee a surprise, and WB Games Montreal has had issues with leaks and stuff in particular. Rocksteady's been pretty, I mean, Rocksteady's a smaller studio, so it makes sense. It does make sense that Rocksteady hasn't had the same challenges as leaks. With leaks, and I'm not blaming Montreal for that. It's not their fault. I think that, you know, a reveal this year would be of great benefit to them because you have Avengers Project really heating up. You have Spider-Man PS4 2 actually coming out probably in 2020, remarkably. So, you know, it's not really like, of course, these studios aren't looking at it from the lens of, like, this competition of, like, well, we want to one-up Marvel or whatever. It's kind of more of, like, a fan invention from me and other people. But I think that it really is within their best interest, because, like, the thing is that the Arkham fan that played these Arkham video games, like let's say Arkham City in 2011, it's not 2019, that's 8 years ago. So when Arkham City came out, I was, you know, what, 13? That's kind of crazy to think about. So as a 13-year-old, I'm still sitting around waiting for these new Batman games, waiting for these new DC video games, but there's some fans that aren't as hardcore as me. They're not as hardcore as you watching this video. And, you know, I don't think that it's going to hurt them. Like, I think if they dropped a new Arkham game 20 years after the Arkham Knight, like, people would still have an interest in it, but I think that there is some benefit to maintaining this brand and, like, keeping it going and feeling as though it's like a new installment, as opposed to, like, they abandoned the old franchise, they abandoned the old DC video game universe, and they're, like, starting fresh. You know, perhaps that's what they want to do. I don't really know, but I think that it would be of great benefit to them to drop a CGI trailer. And as I said, like, saving it for E3 is it's just not going to work. Like, the game's going to get leaked. And here's the thing, is people are saying, like, well, the game might be at E3, it might not be. I simply said, has the game been leaked yet? This was like 2 or 3 days before E3 started, and today's the first day. I said, has it been leaked yet? And everyone was like, no. Then it's not there. Like, if it hasn't been leaked yet, it's not there. There's no surprises at these conferences anymore. Everything gets leaked, with very, very few exceptions. Like, if we're talking about the big name studios, the Rocksteadies and the 343 and like those type of studios, there are no surprises for those studios anymore. Unless you just like have a sneaky, like, little cheeky Twitter announcement, there is no such thing as that. So I say all this to say that I think it would be really a great move for them to capitalize and announce later this year. I'm not saying that they will be. I'm not making any speculations, but I think that would be great for them, and they would definitely gain a lot of attention there. So anyway, guys, hope you'll have enjoyed the video. It's a disappointment. I'm trying to, like, be optimistic about it. It is sad. It's disappointing. Another year without any announcement, unfortunately. And this will be the 33 in a row that we were kind of, you know, like, kind of hoping for something. Actually, as early as 2016, 2017, actually the 4th E3 in a row that we've really been hoping for something, and it just hasn't been there. It's a real bummer. I mean, it's a long time to wait. It's a long time to wait. So, yeah, it is a real bummer. It really is. And, yeah, there's not much else to say. It's a bummer, man. It really is. But, you know, I appreciate that Sefton Hill, and also Geoff Eleanor tweeted yesterday that let us know that they weren't going to be there, which was nice. I thought that was great. You know, keep our expectations level. That's something that they haven't done in the past that I appreciate nowadays. So, yep. The upside to all of this is that as time goes on, it's only more inevitable, right? I mean, like, that's the silver lining of it all. It sucks this year, but, like, statistically, it's only more likely last year, maybe. Yeah, so, you know, it's a real bummer. It really, really is. It really, really is. But on the bright side, Dark Phoenix was a banger. You guys got to see that. Unfortunately, that's not a good silver lining for most of you, because most of you saw it and said it was horrible. But for me, that's the silver lining. Not a silver lining. I have an econ exam tomorrow. That is not a banger right there. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you thought about no Rocksteady or WB Monty here at E3, and let me know what you thought about all that in the comment section below. And what is the game you're most excited for at E3? For me, it's either Jedi Fallen Order or Avengers Project. Avengers Project gets revealed tomorrow, so stay tuned. Maybe I'll have a video out tomorrow covering that. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Slickmuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.